Hello, thank you so much for sticking with us on 10 News at Noon. I'm Katie Inman alongside our meteorologist Julia Quady. And Julia, it is a beautiful start to our Tuesday. I know I got a walk this morning before work, and you like to go on those walks in the afternoon. It's going to be even prettier then.
It is. It's going to be warmer too. Temperatures reaching into those upper 60s. Yesterday we had lower 60s, so we're still on that upward trend with temperatures still increasing this week for now before we start to see a decrease with our next cold front arriving this weekend. Right now, taking a look at not satellite radar, rather Skycam actually. As you can see, some of that cloud cover kind of out there for us early this afternoon. Temperatures hanging out into those upper 50s to lower 60s. It's going to be the range for all of us across East Tennessee. Now looking at satellite radar, we can see a little bit of that cloud cover that's kind of going to vary all throughout our afternoon here. We'll see some moments with some partly cloudy skies, some moments with mostly cloudy skies in place, but that cloud cover is going to continue to build though either way today into tomorrow, especially right before those showers begin to push their way into our region late into your Wednesday and heading into your Thursday morning. Thursday morning we could see a couple thunderstorms possible, even with another line expected into your Friday morning as well. So really Wednesdays are going to be the beginning of our daily rain chances that will stick around to the forecast up until this weekend, extended by that cold front that's going to push on through. So also see some colder temperatures on the back end of that system that's going to last at least for the early start of next week. More details to come in that full forecast in just a bit. Katie?
All right, Julia, thanks. A new change to elections in Jefferson County has some voters worried about their ability to cast a ballot early. The decision comes from the county's administrator of elections, who is new to the role. He says after taking office, he learned the county was not in compliance with state law, forcing the county to cut back on 2 early voting locations. The change reduces what used to be a 14-day window to just 5 hours on one day in White Pine and New Market. One longtime voter we spoke with says the change could make voting harder for her neighbors. She has traveled from her home in Strawberry Plains to New Market City Hall to vote early for decades, and she worries about who may be left out now.
People who work, people who are on shift work, disabled or elderly, they might not be able to.
The mayor of New Market has filed an official complaint with the State Election Commission and the Department of Justice. We've reached out to the Secretary of State's office for comment, but we have yet to hear back. It is important to note federal offices were closed yesterday because of President's Day, so that could also be why there is a delay in response.
Last but not least, our Knox County Mayor candidate, Bo Hawk.
A Democrat is now in the running for Knox County Mayor. Bo Hawk is the president of the local Central Labor Council. He says he fights every day for thousands of union workers throughout the county. As of right now, he's the only Democrat running. The deadline to pick up a petition is Thursday. The primary is set for May 5th, and the general election will take place in August. Current Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs has already served 2 4-year terms, so he can't run again. There are 3 Republicans in the Knox County mayoral primary right now. County School Board member Betsy Henderson, along with Commissioners Kim Frazier and Larson J., are all running.
Units on scene can serve search warrant. Call on the radio for assistance. Shots fired. 489 Van Zant Road.
That was audio from Laurel County Dispatch on the night police killed a man in London, Kentucky. It confirms police were supposed to be serving a search warrant to 489 Van Zant Road. Instead, officers showed up at 511 Van Zant Road. It's been nearly 14 months since police shot and killed Doug Harless. They went to his door just before midnight looking for a stolen weed eater. Now we're seeing some movement in this case. Attorneys and local leaders in London, Kentucky are hoping for more answers. They told 10 News a special prosecutor handling the case might finally present the investigation to a grand jury this week. Reporter Sam Perez has the latest.
The goal should be justice for Doug Harless.
It's the motto Jamie Burns has been repeating for 14 months since Doug Harless was shot and killed in London, Kentucky.
3.8 miles from where I tuck my kids in every night, a man lost his life.
Just minutes before midnight on December 23, 2024, London police officers showed up at his home. They had a search warrant for a stolen weed eater, but a different address was listed on the warrant. Captured on this neighbor's security camera footage, officers knocked on the front door and announced themselves before entering the home. An affidavit says they found Harless with a gun and an officer fired multiple rounds, killing him. Burns heads up the Justice for Doug movement. For 14 months, she's been at every vigil and city council meeting.
Justice for Doug! I always say my 3 A's. I want answers, accountability, whatever form that is, and then actions to make sure it doesn't happen again. We need change.
Burns says she wants to see that change from the police department and local leaders.
In a hoe, everybody's wanting answers to what happened that night.
But even London's mayor, Randall Weddle, says he doesn't have those answers.
Internally, we're stepped away from this, and I'm not even asking the officers and them a lot of questions because, again, it's an open investigation, and I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to interfere with anything.
The Kentucky State Police conducted a months-long investigation and turned the findings over to the special prosecutor handling the case. While media, civil attorneys, and local leaders say they haven't seen the report yet, Mayor Weddle says he's confident in the city's police department.
I believe they know how to do their jobs, and I believe that, that until somebody shows me differently, that they executed it the way that it should have been done.
Weddle says he supports the police department, but at this point, he says he doesn't have the facts to enact any change.
How do you conclude what we need to do different without the facts in the case?
But when the KSP report is made public, Weddle says transparency will need to be a part of the conclusion. Burns says for 14 months, she's been calling for that transparency and fighting for justice.
This changed my whole world. Because I truly believed that. I truly believed if you didn't bother the cops, they would not bother you. And Doug Harless proves that wrong.
That was Sam Perez reporting. Over the last year, a few changes have been made within the department. Officers didn't have body cams at the time of the shooting, and Mayor Weddle tells us this shooting highlighted the immediate need for the department to purchase cameras. 10 News has filed an open records request with the Kentucky State Police, but as of right now, we haven't received any documents. We're also still waiting to hear back about the timeline for when this case is going to be presented to a grand jury. While we're still waiting to find out if there will be criminal charges, the Harless family did file a civil lawsuit. Coming up tonight at 11, you can watch the second part of this story and hear from the family's lawyers about how they're hoping to get justice. You can also stream the full story on WBIR+. Download on your TV to watch for free. Time now for another check of your forecast. Today, our meteorologist Julia Quady is standing by with another look at the weather. I'm getting ahead of myself.
No worries, Katie. Honestly, we can get ahead of ourselves a little bit because we have even warmer temperatures ahead for us into our Thursday and Friday, reaching up into those lower 70s. Today, we're talking about upper 60s. So again, those same nice, warm, mild conditions are just going to last for a good portion of our week here. Rain chances will start to kick off for us on our Wednesday, lasting into daily rain chances that are going to extend into the weekend thanks to a cold front that's going to prolong those opportunities. But of course, it's in the word, or in the phrase rather, cold front. So it's going to mean colder air is going to get reintroduced into the region. So it's going to give us some colder temperatures as we look ahead into your early start of next week. So we'll see, looking at your temperature trend here, that big dip, I should say, coming down into your Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and lasting into the early part of next week. Temperatures falling to the 40s with then even warmer temperatures ahead into the 60s back into the midweek of next week. More details coming up, full forecast in just a bit. Katie?
All right, Julia, thanks. New today, longtime civil rights activist and two-time presidential candidate Reverend Jesse Jackson has died. His family says he died early this morning at 84 years old. We do not know his cause of death quite yet, but his family says he passed peacefully, surrounded by his loved ones. Jackson dedicated decades of his life to fighting for civil rights. He worked with Martin Luther King Jr. and was at the motel in Memphis with King when he was assassinated in 1968.
To really grow, we really must go beyond racial battleground to economic common ground. We got to reach out.
That was from an interview 10 News did with Reverend Jackson in 1984. He stopped in Knoxville in Blount County on Easter Sunday that year, campaigning to be the Democratic presidential nominee. Jackson held events at Knoxville College and Alcoa Middle School. He was just the second black person to run for a presidential nomination, and he did so twice. Jackson remained active in the political world throughout his life and was in Chicago when Barack Obama was first elected in 2008. He was honored at the Democratic National Convention in 2024 for his leadership and activism. 2 are dead following a shooting at a high school hockey game. We have what officials are telling us about this Rhode Island tragedy coming up. In your national headlines, Nancy Guthrie's family members are no longer suspects in her disappearance. The Pima County Sheriff's Office has cleared Guthrie's family members, including her children and their spouses. It's been 2 weeks since the 84-year-old was reported missing. The sheriff said in a statement the family members are victims in this case, and to suggest otherwise is not only wrong but cruel. The Trump administration is being ordered to return an exhibit on slavery. This news comes after workers removed the display from a historical museum in Philadelphia last month. In a lawsuit, the city claimed the government was required to consult with city leaders before making changes to the exhibit at Independence National Historical Park. Yesterday, a judge ruled in favor of the city's argument and said the exhibit should be returning soon. 2 people are dead and 3 wounded after a shooting during a high school hockey game in Rhode Island. Authorities say the suspected shooter was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators are looking into the motive and believe it was a targeted incident. It may have stemmed from a family dispute. The victims have not yet been identified, but investigators say the suspect was Robert Dorgan, who also went by Roberta Esposito. Officials say both victims appear to be adults. 400 new homes may be coming to Morristown. Coming up, how city leaders hope to turn commuters into homeowners. Plus, some Tennessee residents had no power for weeks, and now their electricity bills are doubling. We're going to tell you more about these costs and impacts coming up.
Hey there, good afternoon, welcome back. Taking a look at our downtown cam over downtown Knoxville. Can see a little bit of some cloud cover still gathering across our skies here in East Tennessee. It's going to vary depending on where you are. If you're going to see lots of cloud cover right now or just some partly cloudy skies. But eventually that cloud cover is going to increase. It's certainly ahead for us tonight leading into your Wednesday. But right now, looking at our current temperatures, sitting somewhere into those upper 50s, lower 60s. So a little bit of that warming trend still continuing in our forecast today. And of course, like I mentioned, satellite radar going to show us that picture of a little bit of some variability in our cloud cover in place across East Tennessee. Some of us under some thicker cloud cover, some of us having a couple patchy moments of that cloud cover passing on through. Either way, temperatures for all of us across the region will top out into those upper 60s. So again, still trending with those very warm, well above average temperatures in the forecast today. Looking at our rain chances beginning late tomorrow on our Wednesday, lasting into your Thursday morning. Small subtle pockets of red and orange here, of course, denoting maybe a little bit of some thunderstorm activity possible with these few lines passing on through not only for our Thursday, but for our Friday morning as well. Looking at our specific Thursday morning forecast here, we do have a small area here that's going to be under severe risk for some of those passing showers being maybe severe or strong at times. This does not include us here in East Tennessee for now, but of course we'll continue to monitor that in case that changes. But overall, we'll just see those daily rain chances stick around all throughout the remainder of our work week, beginning tomorrow and into your weekend, with a cold front that's going to give us some colder temperatures briefly into early next week, down to the 40s before things start to feel a little bit better, and we'll go back to warmer temperatures into the midweek next week. Katie?
All right, Julia, thanks. 400 new homes may take over nearly 150 acres of land in Morristown. This comes as commissioners approved land changes on Howell Road from agricultural to residential last week. City leaders say thousands drive into Morristown every day for work, school or shopping. The goal of the project, called Morristown Meadows, is to turn those commuters into homeowners. Right now, the average price of a Morristown home is around $400,000. That's up 33% in the last 3 years, according to Realtor.com.
It's a matter of inventory. The more houses you have, the more availability, the more competitive it makes home builders or people to sell their homes, right? So you have more, if there's more options for buyers, that helps drive that price down.
Project leaders are still waiting for City Council's approval on the zoning request. That vote is expected to happen next month. If the approval process keeps moving, developers say they hope to break ground on the property by the end of this year. Some Nashville residents are shocked after seeing their most recent electric bills. These changes are coming after the January storm, leaving hundreds of thousands in the area with no power for weeks. But their bills are so high. One customer's bill was not only higher than usual, but it also had late fees added on, even though leaders at the utility company said those fees would be waived until the summer. And that customer isn't the only one. Dozens are taking to social media, posting about their bills being more expensive this month. Officials have not yet responded to calls or emails about those billing issues, or even said why disconnection notices would appear on bills when those are suspended. A new team of first responders may patrol the streets of Knoxville. This team centers on a pair of people responding to emergency calls, but neither is a police officer. This new program would have specialists and medics respond to low-risk 911 calls, and it's an idea that's been pushed around for years to help with response costs. 10 News reporter Lauren Levitt spoke with one person who has been working to roll out this program for years now.
Working to keep the community safe. That's what Knoxville Heart has been pushing for years.
We got together back then because we felt like there was a need for an alternative to the current situation when it came to mental health crises. At the time, there was no alternative to just calling 911.
The Knoxville Police Department's co-responder program was created around the same time, but it still wasn't what the organization was looking for.
We would rather have a fully unarmed response rather than an armed response with a social worker.
Fully unarmed, sending a behavioral health specialist and a medic to nonviolent 911 calls, potentially diverting 4,000 to 5,000 calls a year.
It gives the people in crisis the specialized skills that they need. And it also helps the police so it can free up their time, have less overtime for the police.
Back in 2024, the city and county funded an alternative response task force to find what it would take to create the program. At the end of last year, they released a 100-page report recommending the program's creation. Knoxville Heart shared some of the report at an event on Saturday.
We also had a call to action. It was Valentine's Day, so we asked folks that were there if they would write Valentines to their council members and the mayor, urging them to fund community response in the 2026-27 budget.
The report determined it would take around $450,000 during the planning period and between $780,000 and $1 million for staffing.
That was Lauren Levitt reporting. The task force identified several teams throughout the country that are already handling these low-risk 911 calls. In Denver, their teams didn't call for police assistance at all in its first year. It also reduced low-level crimes by 34%. And in one Ohio city, their program lowered the likelihood of a call ending in an arrest. Now we want to go ahead and switch gears, check in with our meteorologist Julia Quady joining me here at the desk. And Julia, we have had a great start to this week. I just hate to see how we're closing the week out.
Yeah, and starting next week.
Yeah.
We're going to see temperatures starting to fall a little bit with that next cold front that's going to arrive this weekend. It's actually going to extend our rain chances. That will kick off tomorrow on our Wednesday. I'll get into more details about that in just a moment. Right now, taking a look at our Parkway camo over in Sevierville, we can see a couple wisps of cloud cover out there, kind of variability in that cloud cover depending on where you are here across East Tennessee. But all of us are going to see a bit of a switch up every now and then over the next few hours. Moments of partly cloudy skies and then other moments of mostly cloudy conditions. Either way, we're all going to be in for those warm temperatures that will be well above average, topping out into those mid to upper 60s. Futurecast is going to show us the beginning of those rain chances that I mentioned, kicking off on your Wednesday evening, lasting into your Thursday morning with a small opportunity to maybe have a couple rumbles of thunder associated with some of those heavy downpours and another line of maybe a couple stronger showers and maybe again some thunderstorm opportunities ahead for us on our Friday as well. There is a small bit of severe risk related towards the first line of showers arriving in the area on your Thursday morning. Not for us here in East Tennessee, just mostly throughout portions of Middle Tennessee, Western Tennessee, and for our neighbors further up north in Kentucky, mostly involved with more of that severe risk at the moment, but we'll continue to monitor that and give you more updates as we have them. Taking a look at our rain chances, again, those will stick around on the daily going forward, so you want to keep that rain gear close by as we're going to have, again, showers lasting into this upcoming weekend thanks to that cold front. Also want to keep those heavy jackets on hand too with those colder temperatures entering into next week too, Katie.
All right, Julia, thank you. One Knoxville photographer made the trip to the Olympics and said seeing the games in person makes her proud to wear red, white, and blue. Coming up, hear from Joy Marshall about her gold medal moments in Italy. Coming up later today on 10 About Town, 2 East Tennessee lawmakers are proposing bills to expand a law allowing mothers to surrender their newborn babies. We'll tell you where they want to see baby boxes put and reaction from officials in Knox County. That's this afternoon at 4 on 10 About Town. From Knoxville to Milan, one photographer made the trip to capture the Team USA's magic at the Olympics. Joy Marshall has been in Milan and Cortina for weeks now, photographing U.S. athletes. She says seeing the patriotism for Team USA is one of her favorite things about the games. But she says it's hard to beat Vol fans on a UT game day. 10 News reporter Ellis Rold has that story.
One born and raised East Tennessean is far from home this month.
Just to see athletes' dreams come true and just like an honor to be part of that.
Freelance photographer Joy Marshall has been in Italy all month, capturing medal-winning moments for American athletes. The 26-year-old is serving as a director of photography for Team USA. It's not her first Olympics, but her first time working for the red, white, and blue. That may make it the best games yet.
So this Olympics has been really special and unique for me because, in a sense, I've gotten to be part of, the team and part of, representing the United States.
Marshall is working directly with athletes during their gold medal moments.
We've been working a lot with the athletes once they win their medals. And so we help, run through like a media day with them once they have won.
But she was prepared for the love of the red, white, and blue by Big Orange.
Fans in like the SEC and at Tennessee specifically are just different. But I think in some ways, like, their like zest and like enthusiasm for sports and like being so familiar with that has prepared me to work in like high profile or like very exciting environments like this, because I'm like, oh, this is normal. Like, we do this at home all the time.
And while athletes chase gold, Marshall is making sure those moments are never forgotten.
And Joy says she will be staying in Italy for the Paralympic Games after the Olympics wrap up this week. What a cool experience. Truly something that she will never forget for a lifetime. And looking at the Winter Olympics, seeing all of the sports, seeing how much it's snowing there and how cold it is, it makes me grateful that here in East Tennessee we've got some warmer temps.
Yeah, we have warm temperatures in place for now before we start to see our own fair share of a bit of a cool down coming in our forecast ahead this weekend. But for the remainder of our work week, still going to trend warmer, climbing even warmer into our Thursday and Friday with temperatures topping out into those lower 70s. Then cooling down with a cold front that's going to extend our rain chances from your Wednesday into your weekend. And also, of course, with the back end of that cold front, it's going to be that colder, drier air. That's what's going to drop our temperatures down to below average range into the 40s into early next week. So make sure you keep those heavy coats on hand and nearby to be ready for the cold next week.
All right, Julia, thank you so much for giving us that update. Thanks for watching with us today at noon. We will see you at 4 for 10 About Town on WBIR+. Stay strong.